Oh, do you hear something? Yeah, so do I. I got 15 chicks in here, just left the post office, and they're friggin' loud. I got these things from Hoover's Hatchery, which is out in Iowa, about 21 hours away from Iowa to Maine. So I feel bad for the person who had to drive them all the way there. But thank you. I got my baby chicks. They all look healthy. But holy crap, I need to get them home because they're friggin' loud. There they are, 15 Cornish crosses. They all seem to be all right. They all seem to be alive, which is good. Guy at the post office said he had a lot of people asking about him, so he showed him a couple. So that's cool. All right, let's get them home. So for the meat birds, this is a very temporary setup. I like to leave them in here for a day or two, just in this type of setup, and then I'll set them up with a bigger brooder out in the shed somewhere. Okay, so we should have 15 of them. All right, so here's one little baby meat bird. Looks good, looks healthy, feet look good. So again, first thing we do with all chicks when we get them, we show them where the water is. They're gonna be thirsty after travel. So there's one, two. Okay, so there's 15 baby chicks. This little one, I don't know. Let's get that one over there. There's 15 baby chicks. They're all healthy. They all look good. Now I'll pop their food down in here. Look out, guys. Okay. And now what we do is I'll observe them for a couple days, and then I'll get them into a bigger brooder. All right, so those meat chickens are starting to smell, and we ain't trying to get too attached to them, and where they are right now is down where my kids play. So it was fine when it was our baby chicks we were keeping, but not the meat chickens. So, and old piece of linoleum, that's going to act as the floor. Now I just need to build something around it to hold the chicks in. So safety first, had to go get the safety glasses, and also I know this isn't the right way to cut 2x4s, as we'll see here in a minute, but I didn't feel like busting out the circular saw, so this is how I rolled. Okay, now that all my lumber's cut, it's time to build a box. Nothing real crazy precise about this, just taking some boards and screwing them together.
The only important piece is to make sure that you pre-drill all your holes, especially in old leftover lumber like this, so that we don't have any splitting or cracking. One of the beautiful things about homesteading is you don't have to go buy anything if you got stuff laying around. So this is all scrap wood that I found, and I'm just gonna build a box. Nothing crazy. Alright, first panel complete. Now we just gotta make one more and then we'll screw the others into it. Alright, so you can see that piece of 2x4 that I screwed into that one panel, and now I'm just going to screw into the side of it, connect in the side panels. And now it's just rinse and repeat until you get a box. Drill and screw, nothing to it. There you have it, we got a brooder. Like I said, I just made this with scrap wood laying around the house. All you need is a box, that's it. Now that we got the brooder complete, it's time to get it ready for birds. So we gotta add our shavings, add our food, add our water, and most importantly, add our baby chicks. So the feed I'm using here is just a meat bird crumble. It's a 22% protein and it's good from start to finish on the birds. And here come the poultry. Now I had to take the bricks out from underneath the water because it was too high for the birds to get into. I like to raise the water so that the birds don't get all kinds of shavings inside of it, because they fill that bottom drinking pot with shavings. The shavings soak up the water, then the birds can't drink. It's a huge mess. So, but unfortunately I had to get rid of those. Same thing for the food here. Because the birds just weren't tall enough yet. But these birds grow super fast, so it wasn't long before I was able to put the bricks back under the food and the water. All right, so these are the meat chickens. We're about 3 weeks into it. I meant to do this from the start, but I kind of forgot. I want to weigh them each week, see how much they're growing. So this is a kitchen scale. We're not going to tell my wife I stole it. Honey, when you watch this, I'm sorry, and I promise I cleaned it. And plus, they're just chickens. We're going to eat them anyways. So I'm just going to grab one. Of course, I grabbed the one with the grossest feet. But here's one. Let's see how much it weighs. I got 6.1 ounces. We're gonna weigh a couple of them because I'm obviously not gonna be able to tell which is which each week. But we're gonna weigh a couple, we'll take an average. So that one was 6.1. That one's 5.4 ounces. Such good patience. Okay, and let's grab one more. Hold on, they're starting to get smart and run away from me. Oh, hold on. And that one's 4.7 ounces. Sorry for all the noises, I'm getting old and out of shape. 5.6. Oh, and he pooped on the scale. All right, we'll end it there then. So 6.1, 4.7, 5.6, something like that. We'll average it all out. I will review the footage and then average it all out. All right, so here's our weights for the birds. We got 6.1 ounces, 5.4 ounces, 4.7 ounces, 5.6 ounces. You add all of that up, you get 1 pound, 6 ounces. I'm not gonna lie, I did use Alexa to come up with that number. But let's figure out the average weight we got. So we've got 6 and 4 is 10, 7 is 17, 1 is 18. We'll put down the 8, carry the 1. And we got 6 and 4 is 10, 5 and 5 is 20, and 1 is 21.8. Oops. So we got 21.8 ounces of bird. Okay? Alexa, what's 21.8 divided by 4?
21.8 divided by 4 is 5.45.
There we go. So out of the 4 birds we weighed, we got average of 5.5 ounces. I don't know if that's a good growth rate. That's only 3 weeks into it. They look good. They look like they're growing, so I'd say we're all set. So, all right, so we got the meat chickens outside for the first time. They're about 3 weeks old. Got them in this little pen. Got a bigger pen here that I don't want them in quite yet because that's too much room. So got them in here just for the day. It's a beautiful day out. I'll put them back up in their little brooder for the nighttime, but they're growing like crazy. They eat a lot, but that's good. Putting on the weight, looking and feeling delicious. They definitely have a much squishier feel to them than regular 3-week-old chicks. That's good. They're supposed to be squishy and delicious. So they're growing. Here they are, 3 weeks old. First time out. Got them out on grass, got their feed, their water here. They're all secure. I'll put them back up tonight, but just wanted them out so that they could get some fresh air, get some grass, get some bugs. So here they are, 3-week-old meat chickens. All right, we're gonna do a little morning check-in on the meat birds. They're about 5 weeks old. I just moved them out here this past weekend, get them out of the brooder. They were ready. I didn't show any of that, but I mean, literally just taking them out of the brooder, putting them outside here. So I got them in this little pen. I'm gonna move this probably every day or so. I'm definitely gonna move it today. They've been out here for a few days. Everybody's doing well, looking good. We're growing. These birds are something else. The way they look, how big their feet are, the way they feel when you pick them up. Kind of a different feeling when you grab it. I'd much rather grab a regular old chicken than these things. They kind of have a weird feeling to them, but that's just because they're squishy and no feathers and just interesting, that's all. But everybody's doing well. They're eating like crazy, pooping like crazy. We're gonna move them. All right, so here's the new meat birds' home. Moved them outside onto the grass. I got a 10 by 10 easy up over here just to keep them in the shade. I got a top over there on that side just to protect their food. And then I moved them down here. So my plan is every couple days I'm just gonna move them a little bit ahead, a little bit ahead, a little bit ahead. I only got, I don't know, 3 weeks left with them. So they do a number on this one little 6 by 6 patch. So just in 24 hours. So I think moving them is probably the best bet. They do eat and poop a lot. Such an interesting bird, right? I've had a lot of chickens, I've done turkeys, but something about these meat chickens. They are just, these Cornish crosses, they're just different, right? Obviously, all their energy goes into producing meat, so they don't, some of them don't have a lot of feathers. They're pretty ugly, which makes it easier for the wife and kids to not get too attached. But they just kind of feel gross when you pick them up. It's just like gross. It's just this squishy, naked, fat thing. It's just gross. So, needless to say, they ain't the greatest birds to handle if one gets loose. But also, if one does get loose, they don't run around much. They don't really want to run away from you and move too much. They just want to get to the food. So you can usually just get them back in by showing them where their food is, or easily coax them back in. When I was moving this thing today, I lost about 9 of them, and they all just kind of followed. And then I was able to just usher them back in. So super easy. But yeah, weird bird, weird experience. I've done turkeys in the past, so I'm not like new to the whole process of growing meat birds to inevitably harvest them. But I don't pick up my turkeys, and I've had to pick these up a couple times, and like I said, they're just squishy, fat, naked things that feel weird. My wife hates their butts because they got no feathers, and I don't know why I'm zooming in on a chicken butt for you, but they got no feathers, and then they just kind of look weird. My wife thinks their butts are gross, but anyhoozle. These are the meat birds. Again, I think we're on like week 5, so 3 more weeks ago. All right, so we got their little meat birds set up with a little bit of a run here outside of their little food pen. No, they're not turkey. Oh, you want me to say, and here's 2 turkeys? Yeah. All right, I got 15 meat chickens and 2 turkeys. Oh. All right, so the meat birds are out grading some grass. I got to move that. It's crazy how quickly they ruin a patch. So we'll let them sit out here like this for a little bit. Maybe another day, maybe tomorrow or Monday. We'll move all of it, but only a few weeks left. These birds are growing fast. They're growing fast. It's unbelievable how much water they drink, how much food they eat, and how much they poop.
They drink like 2 gallons a day, and they drink probably 13 times a day.
2 gallons a day, 13 times a day.
Poop.
All right.
13 times a day pooping.
Oh.
And
It's 5-year-old math.
Eating is, I think, 6 or 7 times.
What an interesting chicken. They're getting so big, they lay down most of the time.
Yeah, because
They're lazy.
and there's so much
But it's also super easy because if any of them get loose, they just hang right around. They can't really run fast. They don't fly. They're easy to catch. Now, I don't know if this is a meat bird thing, but my turkeys are the same way. Friendliest birds, okay? They come right up, they follow you. My turkeys do the same thing, whereas Frank and his girls want nothing to do with me most of the time. And these ones don't care, they'll be at your feet, they follow you, they step all over you. So, might be a meat bird thing, but it's a little weird. You develop a closer relationship with the birds, you're gonna inevitably be taking their lives to feed your family, but yet they're the friendliest.
Now I know that's not the case for everybody's bird. Some people have their flocks that they got lap chickens. Now, unfortunately, and that's probably a lot of my own fault, I've never had lap chickens. Again, that could be maybe my fault for not socializing with them enough, but I've never had lap chickens, although I feel like all my meat birds would be lap birds if I let them. They're going to be belly birds soon. Wind's picking up. It seems like there might be some storms coming, so look out, birds. Jeez Louise. Thirsty little buggers. Well, we're coming down to the last few days for these meat birds, and they sure have grown a lot. It's crazy how much they grow in just 8 short weeks. Everything's gone pretty well. Can't really complain. Definitely would do something different next year as far as the setup goes and actually make a chicken tractor. I kind of got a little lazy with this thing here because I had it. Bit of a pain to move it every day, which is why I didn't move it every day, which is why I kind of got a few squares there where we killed it, but learn. But these are them. They're all looking good. So, look at that one's beak. That's interesting. I don't know if it's like a birth defect or something, but got a weird beak. Could have just broke, I don't know. Fat bird, so I doubt it's really affecting it much, but interesting. I don't really like when they rub against my legs. They're like big ball sacks. They're kind of gross. Whoa, 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 but they follow me around. It's friggin' weird. Shit. I mean, crap. So birds, you got one more day. You've eaten all your food. I'm pulling the food from them because you want them to have empty bellies when you go to process. Just makes it a whole lot cleaner and easier. So they will have empty bellies. They still got water. We'll make sure they have plenty of water tonight, and then tomorrow morning we'll get going. But right now we're gonna go and make sure we've got everything for processing. Here we are. It is week 8 for the meat birds. Today's processing day. Today actually also happens to be Independence Day, July 4th. So happy Independence Day, happy birthday America. On 4th of July for me this year, I get to process my own meat birds. I get to fill my freezer and my friends' freezers with happy, healthy meat. So that's pretty cool. I'm not gonna show you how I do all that in this video. There will be a video coming later on that shows how I did all that.